Facebook today at facebook.com/NASCAR. Those of you that are savvy with the social media, a lot of great information behind the scenes thing that takes place. And watching the 19 of Carl Edwards work his way around the track. Marty.
Heading in right now, Rick, and I just want to talk sort of about the mentality that Joe gives racing cars. You see Carl Edwards coming in, his teammate Denny Hamlin making some qualifying laps right now, and Dave Rogers has told Carl Edwards at least 4 times on the radio, listen, the pace today is slow, we're not in a hurry, don't worry about things. Jeff, it's kind of funny because you're in the middle of this championship battle. You would think things are very heated, but the way these Gibbs cars are approaching is sort of this laid-back attitude, totally focused on qualifying, and that's it for this Friday practice here at Martinsville.
Well, it's a laid-back attitude right up until the time you're not running well enough. Denny Hamlin's P1 right now at 1932. I think it's pretty laid back with him, but Carl Edwards is back in 35th, ran 3 laps. I don't know if they were out there doing something other than making a Q run, but you would think if they were doing something other than a Q run, they'd be throwing a set of tires away. So be interested to hear what's going on with the 19 car.
There's 18 Kyle Busch. These are his first laps. Again, Joe Gibbs Racing had mentioned that they were all going to wait until some cars had been on the track before they went out to make their first runs. So we're seeing the first runs for Kyle Busch. Interestingly, Carl Edwards and Kurt Busch have really advanced into the round of 8 by not doing anything spectacular. And their teammates have done spectacular things to continue to advance. So different strategies to make the move as we see the 22 working here around the curve.
I'm not sure if they're strategies. I just think, they unload to win every race. But at some point in the course of the race, you have to understand what kind of car you have. And if you just continue to call a race like you're going to win it with a 15th place car, you're going to run 25th. Like at some point, you have to be real about your opportunity and race with them.
Yeah, you have to give them credit for finding a way to manage those races. Like if we say it's, when you're not running well enough to win, you need to get good finishes. So it's easier said than done. I mean, it's very difficult to do. So, they've avoided the wrecks, they've avoided the engine problem, they avoided those things that other teams had trouble with.
Remember Joey Logano, his chase hopes dashed. He was out front a year ago at this racetrack, looking to advance into the championship 4 from this race, and then a little issue with the 2 and the 20. After the 20 came back out on the track, a couple laps down, decided it was time for the 22 not continue anymore in this race.
Yeah, obviously he was upset about what happened to several races before, and then ended up getting wrecked racing with the 2 Penske cars, and felt like that was that was on purpose as well. And this was a huge moment in the chase. Obviously, ended up resulting in some penalties that Matt Kenseth had to miss some races and kind of redefined what was acceptable payback in NASCAR. Kind of wrote the rules for that. So it was big for that chase, but it was also big for the long-term looking at NASCAR, how they were going to approach penalties. Because, up into that point, I don't ever remember anyone being penalized for intentionally wrecking someone to that degree.
Dave.
Rick, when we got to Kansas this year, I talked to Joey Logano's crew chief, Todd Gordon, about where things got started there. Remember, Joey raced Matt very aggressively, moving him out of the way for the win at Kansas. I said, what were the days after that? Because Joey, he told us later, never talked to Matt about that, and he felt that was one thing that may have led to the payback here at Martinsville. And Todd said, you know what, I'll take some ownership of that. I didn't tell Joey to call him afterwards because Joey's interpretation was he didn't do anything wrong at Kansas. What I think I should have done instead was I should have gone to my driver and said, maybe you need to own a little bit of the blame at Kansas and to go talk to that other driver. A lot of things learned in the weeks that transpired last year, and one of them was from Todd Gordon to this driver, Joey Logano.
Well, it may not even be taking blame, but just explaining. You can have a conversation with someone and leave completely disagreeing with each other, but respecting each other more, right? So when you have an incident, it isn't necessarily that you're having a conversation to try to lie to the guy or make him feel better. It's just to explain your side of it, because there's no way they were going to talk and both say, yep, you were right, yep, you were right. That was never going to happen. The question was, moving forward, how did you work with each other? Because I know we love competition, and I know we wanted drivers to race each other hard every single lap, but it's 36 races. I mean, you have to show some respect for each other. So it's not about necessarily agreeing, it's just having respect for someone.
Well, I think Joey Logano actually took the opposite approach because he had the opportunity in Victory Lane in Kansas to deflect a little bit of the issue. But instead, I think he took it on head on and said, nope, I was completely in the right and I won the race and this is how I race. And I think that fueled the fire a little bit as well.
Definitely made a statement, and another statement being made by the 22 team. They have the paint scheme celebrating 50 years of racing for Penske.